Hi, Year 10. So what we're doing today, when I get the lesson up, is we are practicing our speech writing skills and recapping the skills we've learnt this term and applying them again to a new speech. We're combining that with question 5, Language Paper 2, Section B, which is what you're covering in your E and I sessions with me on Thursday's week A. So it's combining what you're learning in both those, your standard English lessons and the E and I lessons. You'll also notice, if I move the cursor, I've put the WALT at the top now. It kept moving down to the bottom, so this is where your WALT will be just before you do now. And what you need to do if you do now is look up 2 key terms that you'll need for this lesson, one being body dysmorphia and the second being selfie dysmorphia. Then after you've done that, well, you also need to watch the video if you do now, but hopefully you're doing that because this is the video. What you're doing for task 1 is recapping Mr. Bruff's explanation of language paper 2, question 5. Mr. Bruff is great for quickly recapping what you need to do in each question. I'd highly recommend it being part of your revision strategy, not all of it, just part. And then answering the questions below. Answer here, I've highlighted in pink, just so I can see when you're answering a little bit easier. Then what I'd like you to do is read a really interesting article from The Guardian, which is on selfie dysmorphia, a bit of a new phenomenon. I don't know how much I agree with the article, I find it very interesting though, so I'm looking forward to hearing your take on it. Once you've read the article, what I want you to do is find how many of the aforest devices you can see in this article. So as you know from one of your E&I sessions, you could be asked to write an article as well in language, paper 2, question 5, section B. That is one of the things they could ask you to write. Of course, it could be something like a letter, a speech, the information on a leaflet or pamphlet, and so on and so forth. But Mr. Broth will explain that to you in more detail with some cute animations to go along. So what I want you to do in this one is see how many of the devices you can find in this article and then put them in the example section. So here, you might not find them all. That's fine. If you find more, that's great as well. If you finish that early, you can explain the effect of one of those devices in the P-style paragraph. Then what I want you to do for the last half of the lesson, just over half, is I've written a language paper 2, question 5, section B style question for you. The statement says, selfies give you body dysmorphia, give people body dysmorphia. What I'd like you to do is write a speech which gives your opinion on the statement. So with these questions you could ask to agree or disagree, or a bit more open-ended, give your opinion. This is a give your opinion one. This is actually slightly harder to give your opinion than straight agree or disagree. Also, it's a bit more like your speech, you're choosing what you think of it. Remember, with any of these things you have to persuade your audience, so do pick a clear persuasive point that runs through your speech. Your audience in this particular is someone your age, so choose the vocabulary to match someone your age, references to cultural norms and beliefs, people your age. Now here's where I want you to recap the knowledge you've learnt from this half term and use pathos, logos, ethos, a range of simple, complex and compound sentences for structural effect, and a range of language devices, all of aforest and more. Aforest more your bread and butter, I'd like you to include more than aforest. A range of punctuation and sophisticated vocabulary. That's a very simplified version of some of the things you're looked for on the mark scheme of your speech. That's why I'm including those requirements for this lesson's speech writing. So write a speech which tackles that question, or that statement rather, and gives your opinion of it, make it persuasive. If you have any questions, please do email me. I'll be checking through your OneNote, but emailing me is the way to get me to you quickest if you're stuck on a particular question. I hope that helps.